Yep. Still got them. There's one right there. So we've been seeing some bugs the last couple of days while we've been working outside at night, and we haven't thought too much of it, but we went to have dinner before getting to work tonight, and we started getting swarmed by a lot of them, and I actually got a better look at what these bugs were, and it looks like we're getting infested with termites. I had a project before this one that had had a termite issue, and the termites are actually colonized in there and coming from that boat. So I know exactly what it looks like when they come from, you know, if they were actually living here before and came out, and they're actually coming to our boat, which is really bad because it's all wood. So we're not sure what we're gonna do yet, but I'm getting a bunch of stuff together to try to, you know, some borax and some other things. We're gonna try to lock down as much as we can and see what the next couple of days turn up. Alright, you can see how hazy it is in there. No one light a match. So we're on our way back to the boat this morning after discovering our new termite infestation last night. We sat down to have some dinner just at sunset, a little after sunset, and we got swarmed. Didn't you?
Yeah, I got swarmed.
Amanda spotted a few. We started looking around and noticed they were everywhere. And we've had a boat in the past that I worked on that had termites on it and was actually infested with the termites, meaning they were coming from our boat. And so many things about that. One, just the amount of damage they can cause, but two, having gone through that experience, we know what it looks like when they come from our boat and what it looks like. Termites, if you see them, they look like ants with really long wings, and when you see them with wings, usually that means they're coming from somewhere close by. They come out with their wings and they fly off to find a new place to kind of colonize. So the termites we found on our boat had no wings. None of them had wings, which pretty much means we're lucky enough to have been chosen to be their new host. Knowing the amount of damage they cause if they do end up settling on our boat, we're not sure what that means for the future of this project. So, is that right?
Yeah.
So, we'll see. It's scary times, worse than Corona. I went ahead and stomped around the yard for a few minutes, and I actually found where the termites are coming from. So, it's crazy. Take a look at this. Alright, so we have a palm tree here on the property. You can just see so much damage all the way up and through this palm tree, which from here to here, which in life size about 3 feet or so, all the way through the tree on all sides, there's just damage coming through. And for those of you who don't know much about termites, yeah, you can actually see a little bit of the colony there. But for those of you who don't know much about termites, that is a massive colony. And over here is just another tree a little closer to us. And again, you can see that it too is suffering from termite damage. So there's definitely a problem here that they'll have to address. So I definitely don't think there are any issues, going to be any issues from the yard. They probably just didn't know about it. So I just wanted to make sure that that's something they knew about, and I just went ahead and helped them out and found where it was coming from, just off a guess. And we'll see what happens on Monday. So you're wiping everything down?
Yeah.
How are those wipes?
So horrible.
Am I allowed to buy the shopping stuff anymore?
Sorry, don't let me shop.
Baja Blast, yes. You're just so happy. Except being chained. Not a fan of being chained. But you love being outside. So we finally had our first conversation with the yard about the termite issue, and it really didn't go that well for us. I won't say too much just because we're still working with them. We're still, talking to them, seeing what's going to happen with this. But I did point out a few things they didn't know about, such as those colonies that I just showed you. So they're gonna have someone go look at them, and they'll get back to us, and we'll go from there, I guess. We also had the chance to meet our neighbors the other day, who are really cool people, and we're really thankful to have met them. We definitely enjoyed talking to them. But they also kind of helped get the ball rolling on this process. So they did a few things to really help us out, and we're really thankful for that. So we'll see how it goes. But just knowing, like I said, just how much damage termites can cause, and having already been there, and that was still a fiberglass boat, by the way. The amount of damage is just crazy, and you just have no idea it's happening. They can stay 100% hidden, and very little signs that they're even there, and will just completely destroy a boat. And that was without even having structural components that were wood. That was, like I said, a fiberglass boat. So we really feel that we need to act very aggressively with this incident, just so that we can secure ourselves and our future with this boat. Because a year from now, if the termites are dug in and we kind of let it slide and just kind of spot treat whatever it is as we can, somewhere we missed, it could be a rib, part of the hull, maybe it's part of the structure under the mast, parts of the structure that hold the holes together. Whatever it is could give way a year and a half, 2 years from now, and we would just have zero clue this was happening. And by that point, it's too late to do anything at all, and we will have dumped a lot of money into this project to basically just have nothing to show for it. So that's a real situation, and we'll see what happens. So yeah, I think the Viking treatment is somewhere around $3,000 plus or minus, depending on how they treat the size of this boat. And it will lose a few days of work. We've already lost a few days of work because of this, so we'll lose a few more days, and well, we'll just see what we stand to lose. What you doing?
I'm finally working on the outside of the boat.
So, a viewer pointed out that this piece that's attached to the bolt from the previous couple episodes is a depth transducer. So, pretty cool to find out what it finally is. Still coming out though. So I spent the last 20 minutes or so with a flathead screwdriver just chiseling around the outside edge of it. And I'm going to see if I can tap it out from the inside now. Alright. Now I just gotta get it apart. Traditionally, I've been using all of our debris from sanding, the fine grain sanding dust that we vacuum up as thickener for our epoxy, but it's not always the same consistency because sometimes we vacuum dust like sawdust, sometimes we get rocks and other things sucked up into the bags, and then it's just kind of annoying to keep laying around and opening bags and closing them and trying to keep it contained. So instead, I looked into using, that's right, flour. Flour for thickener. So it's got a lot of properties that sawdust has, but it's also extremely fine. So we're gonna try using that as our thickener on some areas that we're filling in. So I'm gonna try that, see how it sands, see how it applies, make some peanut butter, and we'll see how it goes. So I've gone ahead and mixed some of the epoxy here. I generally, when I make my peanut butter, go ahead and mix the catalyst in. So the hardener is already mixed into the resin. And I get that mixed up and thoroughly, so I get that nice and mixed. And when I add my thickener, I've been generally using maybe just a little more than 1-to-1, which has been working pretty well. Like I said, sometimes I hit about the 1-to-1 and it's too runny. So I'm gonna start around there with the flour, mix it in, and I'll see what the consistency's like. So, still pretty runny. So I'll probably mix maybe another half of the original. So maybe 1.5 to 1, 3 to 2, I guess. And we'll see what that's like. Okay, so 3 to 2. I think this is sometimes where I get caught off guard and stop. Still pretty runny, but it actually looks and feels pretty thick now. So I'm gonna add another half, 2 to 1, and see if that works. Okay, so this is 2 to 1. It's still just a little runny. Probably a little too runny for what I'm about to use it for. So I might just add a couple touches more. But this should get you pretty close. So we'll see how it works. So we showed you the flour and epoxy mix, and I just want to show you how it worked. I also have this block that I went ahead and made up. These two I stuck together with epoxy earlier on just to see how it puts the pieces together and how it works when I throw it in water. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to throw this block back in a bottle of water, let it float around for a day or two, just to see if there's any kind of adverse effect of using this kind of peanut butter. You can see the glisten and how smooth that surface is. So I just spread this on with a 2-inch putty knife. And then I also stuck this piece of wood on. It's not a great piece of wood, but just to see how it adheres two pieces together. So I'm gonna toss it in a little bucket of water, and we'll come back to it in a couple days and see how it works. Okay, and then you can see some of the areas here that I was working on with that peanut butter mix. I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. It's got the same texture as maybe like a really fine 100 grit or so sandpaper, but it spread on and was extremely easy to spread out and work with. And over here, I actually could apply it pretty thick. I had a pretty deep groove there, and maybe one more layer after I smooth this out, and it'll be flush again. So I'm pretty pleased with it. We'll see how that block comes out just to see if there's any adverse effect, but I'm pleased with how it turned out so far. Alright, so there's one of the little guys right there. So, not a overly clear picture, but you can see what they look like. Yep, still got them. There's one right there. We're just gonna have to Vicane gas the boop. The only problem is it's not a preventative measure, just a treatment.